Hello everybody, this is Gabby's Games, and welcome back to War Thunder with a little bit of a review slash gameplay video on the little reserve tanks and the premium variant of that reserve tank of the Italian ground forces. So first up we got this batch, which was a pretty insane match, which will show how ridiculous this little vehicle can be. So what we're looking at is the premium variant of the M13-40, which is the Model 2 variant. So the Model 2 is the premium, and you also have the Model 1 and Model 3 variants, which are the reserve tanks. You also at a battle rating of 1.0, have a 47mm gun. Strongest armor is the double mantlet. You are looking at 30 millimeters of frontal plate armor, 25 on the side, 25 on the side of turrets, 45 on the edge of the turret, and then again the double mantlet, which makes it quite a thick body. But this gun is actually quite ridiculous if you have the AP-CBC ammo loaded. So I'm gonna slow it down a little bit so you guys can see here. 30 grams of TNT at a 500 meters penetration of 45 at 41 and 0 and 30 degrees respectively. So you have to, the normal shell is way weaker, but because it can actually, when you angle this tank, and somebody has stock ammo, and they will hit the 30mm plate at 500 meters, they cannot penetrate it. But this ammo can actually penetrate this thing pretty much at any angle, at any range, under 1,000 meters. And once you learn a little bit how to aim with this tank, you can actually, like, since most of these matches are mostly like Italy versus Italy, you rarely see a lot of other players, but it's really get ridiculous. So first up, I'll be going around this corner, check what I could do here. Spot an enemy over there. One shot him. He was already damaged, so I only had to kill a few crew. I saw that chevron there, but did not actually get to kill him. Gonna be taking a little bit of a sneaky route here through bushes. And see if I can actually take somebody out. Sadly, I did not really see anyone. The people right there, as you guys can see, actually are perfectly hidden in that bush there. Just so that we're barely visible. This is a little bit of a glitch. I actually had to push the ball down quite hard. It's a bit difficult. I thought I heard engine noises were on that side, so where this guy's chevron is there is hidden. But they were actually going around here behind me. It took a little bit for me to realize that. There was one. There was a second one. He hit the first one there. Couldn't get through. I one-shotted him. Then there was a second one there, but he was a bit slow. I saw this guy to the right, shot him. Then notice this guy right here. I don't know why he did not shoot me, but I made sure that he couldn't shoot me because I one-shotted him. That guy did not see me, but I did see him. I saw him turn around. I did sadly not see this guy because that would have given me another kill. But going to the wall, missed my shot there, but he didn't really notice me. First shot was in the engine, creating a fire. He was just like over, and it was dead. Okay, for some reason I did not see that guy, but it's probably because the tree was in the way. I think he also was killed shortly afterwards. So I checked my left side. Again, I was still not noticing the guy on the right. We both pretty much went our ways without even seeing each other. So then I was like, okay, what am I gonna do now? I decided to go to the left. Also note, guys, this is a realistic battle, so actually these names are actually not visible. You can only see the usernames of your allies that are in direct vision, so you cannot even see their names if they are behind cover, only in direct vision. So missed my shot there, and hit that guy at exactly at the angle plate there. So this little plate right here. Notice there was another guy, but that was the tank destroyer variant of these. It actually has the turret gun, the main gun on the in the hull, where this guy has the machine guns, which made it really hard for him to shoot me because he wasn't aligned properly. That guy is actually still alive. And I actually had to drive around this because in the replay it shows it being bumped down, but in the actual match it wasn't bumped down. Which is kind of funny, like, as soon as you touch something in a replay, it will immediately crumble down, even if it hadn't crumbled down immediately in the game. So then I heard engines there, so I decided to, like, turn my gun to a line there. One shot at him as well. Then I checked the right side, and saw the Chevron over there. That was again, I think it was the tank destroyer. Yep, that was the tank destroyer variant. Gun again in the hull. Right, engine is out over left here, so you guys can see there, that's a Model 2 as well. So the same as I have. The models are very, very similar. There are very little difference, but I can actually gladly say that the premium variant is actually the weakest. So I noticed that he was actually facing me, so I couldn't really do anything, but luckily, an ally dispatched him. I pushed out quickly to see if there was anyone else, and there was. But sadly, because of the way he turned the turret a little bit, it was a bit weird, but I didn't really get a good shot on him. It should have been a kill shot, but for some reason it wasn't. Second shot did actually take care of him perfectly fine. And Shadow strike streak by 10 by now. So that's 10 kills we're talking about. And I see the chevrons, but I'm not sure what to do. And these walls are actually both up in the non-replay variant. So it actually was a pretty good cover there. I was just looking around if I could see people. We spotted somebody over there. And I was about to shoot him, but I missed the first shot. Quick reload. Second shot was a kill shot. There was somebody on the left. And it took me 3 shots because the little angled plate there took a hit. And then we saw another guy over there. And it makes 13 kills on this tank. And again, this is basically a worse version of the Model 3 reserve tank. They all have tiny little differences. But I would say that the Model 3 is, again, the best. Sadly, there was a guy that was about to pop over that side, and I did not notice. I was tracking around, but I did not see him there. The little Garruphalos guy there was already dead. Oh, it's not a Garruphalos, but Garruphalos is the machine gun variant. Like, I just turned around and he shot me in the side. Driver was out. If Driver wasn't out there, I probably could have turned in time to actually get a shot back on him, but the match pretty much ends here. I do have a respawn, of course, in the Model 3, but I had no time, even just near, to actually, like, get anywhere. There were some planes here. I remember making some nice maneuvers, like this guy. And we also had this bomber plane, but I really weren't doing a lot. This guy barely managed to perforate that building, I now see. He was about to land, which is kind of funny, but the match was really about over. You guys can see here. Nothing really too fancy that was happening. That guy decided to throw bombs, but it was already too late, he was already dead. And that was the last enemy in the entire team. So, that really shows how weak the armor of this thing is in reality. So again, here we got the number 1. So 10 degrees turn rotation speed, minus 15 vertical guidance, 64 seconds reload. I think everything else is exactly the same. This one has 3.7 reload, this is the Model 3, much faster. But 9.9 on the turret rotation speed. This is all is with a little bit of crew. However, this one, I think we do have a little bit of leadership targeting there. That makes it a little bit faster. So the stock speed is 0.88 there. 0.8 I mean, and this is 9 target speed. Oh, 9.8 as well. Huh. Base 9.8, not base 9.8. So actually, I'm wrong about that. So they actually do all have the same turret slewing rate. And that was only difference by the crew. So what this thing has is the -10 vertical guidance. That's where the difference is between these. These are both have the good vertical guidance. This one has the reload and the vertical guidance. Basically, this one has the slow reload. This one only has the reload, but not the vertical guidance. And that's really where all the difference is between these three. So like armor 30 millimeters on the front, 30 millimeters on the front, 30 millimeters on the front. This one has a bit of a different paint job, that's why it looks different, but they all, I guarantee you guys, they all have the same armor. Except maybe, for example, here the structural steel. This one has actually a little structural chassis on there. So, like, okay, there are actually some more small differences. For example, structural steel here and here is also small, tiny bit different. But generally, it really doesn't matter. So here's the 30 millimeter, 40 millimeters. Those are the double 30 millimeters, 40 millimeters again. They all have that double plate there. So that's the thickest piece of armor. It can be up to 70 millimeters thick, and that can actually absorb some shells. But the thing is, even if you angle, you will always have a diagonal plate here, or even in the rear as well. These have both those things that are always angled towards whatever you're angling at. And even like the only thing that will matter is if you have this shell, again 31 millimeters at 500 meters at 30 degree angle, 500 meters, then you have the 31 millimeters penetration. And if you angle here, that is actually counting towards straight armor. So that would be this one. This would be 30 millimeters straight armor basically. And that would be 31 millimeters. That's where basically what they're referencing to. So if you angle it for a little bit more than 30 degrees, this frontal plate can actually absorb shells. But if you have it angled this way, you can have actually get penetrated right here. They will get a machine gunner, possibly the commander. And of course, you have this plate right here that if it gets penetrated, pretty much guarantees a one shot because, yeah. If you can basically get a shot in basically this area right here that somehow passes through that orb, you will get a kill shot. So you have to basically get halfway on the plate in terms of height. If you're shooting from the side, about a 1/3 from the front. And here you can just shoot dead center pretty much and get that kill. Which makes it a really, really hard tank to play with if you don't know how to position, etc. So it actually makes a pretty poor starter tank. Especially if you compare it to, for example, that's not ground forces. Let's take out one of these reserve tanks here. So here you're looking at 25 millimeters, 25 millimeters. So you have worse armor, and you also have 4 crewmen, but this tank is a bit faster with quite a bit more horsepower per ton. This is more than 10 horsepower. It's like over 20 horsepower per ton, and a 2.7-second reload on a gun that has quite a bit more penetration to really go through anything. And the solid shot does do its job. I mean, the 30 grams of TNT equivalent on the Italy tanks is what is actually making it good. I mean, you also have some tanks right here. Let's see which one has the better gun. It's for the L30. I think this one is the better gun. So check out this gun. This one has 50 grams of TT equivalent, sure, but it has a little bit less penetration, and you really need that 50 millimeter penetration overall if you can have it. But this one actually, like, again, the armor is not there very much. You have some trolley side turrets here with the 35 millimeters on there. 20 millimeter front turret. Yeah. But this thing at least has a above 10 horsepower per ton with 9.7 tons to 113 horsepower. That's where these reserve tanks lag here at over 13 tons, 105 horsepower, 3x6. 105 horsepower, that's not a lot. I mean, even Germany as well. You're talking at the Panzer III B as a reserve tank, 16 tons, but 235 horsepower. And again, if you look at customization, sure, the armor is not thick, 14 millimeters, 16 millimeters, but you're at least looking at 5 crew members, and the gun does do a lot of damage. The penetration is more than enough to take out anything, and the 13 grams of TNT is, like, not bad, but not very great either. But again, it does the job, and it really makes Italy like a pretty weird thing to play with. And again, if we're gonna go here, Japan probably has the worst ones. I mean, if you check the armor here, 12 millimeters, 30 millimeter. Okay, sure, you have a little bit of a Trody side armor, but that can bounce some stuff. But you're looking at a 3-man crew, especially if you just shoot the flat plate right here. It's not the turret, the machine gun port is not modeled, so you just have a flat plate there and you shoot it, and you would shoot 2 crews in a row. And 7 per ton, 120 horsepower. Again, more than 10 horsepower per ton. So the mobility of the tanks that you have, again, your Tetwork, 7.6 tons, but 165 horsepower, more horsepower per ton. BT5, more than almost 30 like actually that's over 30 horsepower per ton. This thing, okay, this one is one of the few tanks that has less than 10 horsepower per ton, but it's only barely less. I mean, if even if you take this tank, which has a pretty poor, like 11 horsepower per ton, like you're still looking at more horsepower per ton than Italy has. So they have the problem with the mobility. Um, and the armor again, you will get one shot with these really easily, but that gun, it's actually a pretty decent gun to work with if you know where to shoot. I can just like advise you guys, take a 1.0 lineup, just nothing else. You have actually have a pretty decent vehicles. I mean, this guy. I mean, you have 4 crews, so if you have a side turret shot, you can have some decent stuff going on because the machine gunner and driver are pretty far apart. That will make you survive. And this thing does have the Panzer Grenade 40 with 64mm pen if you have it researched. And of course, again, you have the premium vehicle, and this guy has a 161% research bonus. And even though it's only 0.4 on the Silver Lion, this is 0.1. Even if this P40, 149% on the research, this thing still researches faster than if you were to use this P40. Even though the P40 would give you a bit more Silver Lions. 140 minus still, like, you would have to get like above 4.0 to start researching faster than this little premium tank will do. And if you stay at 1.0, you'll never face difficult targets such as the B1 BIS. Actually, you have a chance to meet that one, but the B1 turret I think is to 2.3. So again, this one is actually lower. So it actually used to be 2.3. So I'm actually surprised that it's now 2.0. But it actually you can, I guess, face that thing then. That would be a difficult target. BT-70, like, there are some difficult targets at 2.0, but at 2.3, you start looking at Panzer IV F1s, Stuk 3A, like that. Those are really gotta be tough things to take out. And I, yeah, it's really easy to get this premium tank, by the way, guys. You don't have to buy it. You just have to have a tier 3 or above vehicle on any faction, and you have to get one victory in during the holidays to get it for free. And then you gotta really start grinding with that 1.0 lineup. And again, you just have to wait until you have like 4.0, 3.0, like around there, and then you can start grinding with those vehicles instead of the 1.0 lineup. This thing, you do have a 1.3 lineup going here. You have a little bit of a 2.3, 2.0 lineup here. But it's a bit of a mess, and you can better just stick to the 1.0 lineup and get used to the reserve tanks. Because, frankly, the reserve tanks are often just better than the 1.3s and even the 1.7s. And it's a bit weird and how the everything is lined up here, but these things are actually pretty doable and actually a lot of fun. So I can actually advise you guys, if you like a little bit of a challenge, go with this line. Challenge yourself, use the reserve tanks. They're not great, but if you're getting started, like, you shouldn't take these. I would suggest getting USA or Germany. USR, they have better starter reserves than the 4 letter. But other than Japan, I would say like Italy would be the second hardest to get started with, other than Japan, because Japan's starter tanks are frankly just trash. But yeah, I'm starting to rambling now, so I guess I'll be ending the episode now. And as always, hope you guys enjoyed watching. Of course, it's now Christmas, so happy holidays to everyone. And I'll see you guys all later. See ya.